So we had a few things pop up from this, but I figured a State of Play recap is in order here. So State of Play happened on Friday last week, I guess Thursday last week for North American watchers. We had a couple of decent things announced. This is a bit of a recap by PlayStation themselves. I don't want to talk about everything because I don't know if everything really deserves to be discussed. We had an extensive look at Crash Bandicoot 4. They showed off some new gameplay, new character, some of the additional mechanics, and how the games sort of work. I figured it probably makes more sense to click on the Crash article while we're talking about Crash. The first thing is that Dingodile is back in the game and he is a playable character. Now this guy here is supposed to be Dingodile. If you guys have played any of the previous Crash games, you'll know that Dingodile looks nothing like this. So they've taken some liberties with how he looked, and he's looking thick now. But that's Crash. So yeah, Dingodile is a playable character now. So you've got 4 playable characters in this game between Dingodile, Crash, Cortex, and Coco. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Torna becomes a playable character, and maybe Entropy as well. I'm only saying that because there was a leak a couple of months back, which we talked about on the channel. We had some Crash Bandicoot merchandise, and they all featured these characters, like these specific characters, which is why I think either they're pivotal to the actual game or they are going to become playable characters as well. So that was the first thing. They talked about how the game will have a ton of skins available to you as well, so you can customize how Crash looks. He's not just going to be your traditional Crash. And it worked really well in... sorry, this window is distracting me. I keep looking out the window. I'm just going to close it and turn my light on. I realize that I keep looking out there at the birds and I should be focusing on the camera. So the Crash skins, they worked really well in CTR with all the new different outfits for him. So I think that's a cool idea here for this. Hopefully they're not going to be microtransactions. They said they wouldn't do it with CTR and they ended up doing it. They have said that they're not going to be payable here, but who knows? It's Activision, so you just never know. And the last thing they added is this thing called inverted mode. Now this is essentially another mode for this game. It's kind of like how you would have your standard crystal run, then you have your gem run, whether it was like a no death route or a collecting all the boxes, then your time trial run in Crash 3 where you have to go through really fast. Inverted is supposed to be this other type of run that you do where they modify the game in some way. They have kind of given a couple of examples of how that is, whether it's like a color change, whether it's collecting fruit, whether it's running fast, all these sort of different art styles and gameplay styles kind of mashing in to change things. It's cool. It's not, I guess it's not a selling feature of the game, but it's kind of a cool little thing. So yeah, that's everything for Crash. Looks like these guys are taking a lot of care with it, which is cool. I think this has a lot of potential to be a really neat game, and I certainly hope it is. Okay, so the other one, we had 2 massive PlayStation VR announcements at State of Play as well. They were Hitman 3 is getting PlayStation VR support from when it launches in January 2021. They had a trailer here where you're playing as Hitman and he's kind of going in and pulls out the wire and everything. It looked really, really neat. This game looks cool. I think it could be cool in VR. I've never really thought about Hitman in VR. But the interesting part of this Hitman announcement is that they said the entire trilogy will be playable in VR. So Hitman 3 is the end of the trilogy, but it's only the beginning when we talk about Hitman VR. We're proud to announce that we're bringing VR support to every location from all 3 games. So it means that the VR version, I'm not sure if it means Hitman 3 is VR compatible, or if there's a Hitman VR as a separate game to Hitman 3. I don't know yet, we don't know. It says Hitman 3 VR, but yeah, who knows what that actually means at this stage. Cool announcement for all you VR owners though. Great to see some additional VR content coming to the platform. On top of that, Vader Immortal was also revealed for PlayStation VR, coming at the end of this month on the 25th of August. This was previously a Oculus exclusive title and looks really cool. It looks neat. This kind of game I think would work very, very well in VR. It reviewed pretty well when it came out on Oculus, but it really depends on the price point. My fear on this one is that they will price it too high. PlayStation always tends to price their games higher than Oculus, their VR titles especially, and given the license associated with this one being Star Wars, my assumption is this is going to be an expensive game. Jury's still out on that one. The game looks awesome though, and I am definitely going to be checking this one out at the end of the month. No word on trophies or anything like that, hoping it has a platinum though. and that's cool. So we had two pretty decent VR announcements, I think, in this conference, which was cool. We had some new gameplay for Godfall, which played. This was the longest piece of content featured in the entire conference. This one's, it's weird. I've gone back and forth on Godfall a bit. I'm going to try and play some of this now, so you can see here sort of hack and slash type gameplay. Now, when this was first announced and revealed, I really didn't think anything of Godfall. I thought it was pretty underwhelming, if I'm being really honest. Then they had that awkward trailer, which was the PlayStation 5 event trailer, where it was the rap music playing in the background, and I think tonally it didn't feel right. There was money falling and stuff, and it felt like they were trying to be Borderlands, and it was kind of this is a Borderlands RPG, but not as a shooter, but as a action hack and slash mythical type game. And I didn't like that tone that they took with it. I think it was not right. Then they showed us more gameplay and revealed more information about the game, and they flipped me again, and I thought, you know what, actually this does sound kind of cool. This does sound quite good. I saw the box art. It's looking super fresh, along with that PS5 logo across the top, and I was like, you know what, you guys have got me. I'm sold on this. Then they showed this trailer for it, and now I don't know what to think. Every time they show the game, my opinion changes on it. This here made the game, well, it made it apparent that the game was very much linear, which I don't know what I was expecting. So obviously we're getting a linear experience with it. They showed hack and slash, and it did look reasonably polished in terms of its hack and slash mechanics, I would say. I don't know anymore. You know, I don't know. It doesn't look particularly, I guess fresh is a good way of saying it. I don't see anything here that's hyper unique that this game is doing that other games haven't maybe done in the past. And I don't know, I think that's probably a bit of a problem, especially for a next gen title. Launch titles always are iffy. They're always you know, you're never gonna get the best ever experience on a launch game. But yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I think I'm still excited about it. You know, if this does come out as a PS5 launch game, I will be buying it at launch with my PS5 to play on my PS5. So that's where I sit on it. However, they showed this 8-minute trailer at the end of the State of Play conference, and I got kind of bored watching the 8-minute trailer. I lost interest because I kept feeling this is just the same stuff. I guess what it's really going to come down to, and because of what they've shown us is basically combat, hack and slash, it's going to come down to how good the combat is in the game. That will determine, I guess, where I come down on how good the game is. If the combat feels awesome to play and you feel like a god, I guess, then the game has potential. If not, then it could be just another, you know, relatively boring hack and slash. But only time will tell. So we sort of just have to wait until that game comes out and we get hands on with it. Temtem was also announced for PlayStation 5, and this is an interesting one. If you guys aren't familiar with Temtem, it's essentially a Pokemon clone that was released on PC at the end of last year, the same time as Sword and Shield got released on the Nintendo Switch. Sword and Shield got kind of panned a little bit for not really innovating much, and Temtem came out of the woodwork being that kind of shining light of, hey, we are making a Pokemon clone and we're innovating on that clone as well. People complain that Pokemon is too accessible. To a degree, I probably agree. I think it's very, very straightforward, although that is kind of part of its charm. This game here appears to be a more complex RPG set essentially in exactly the same tone as Pokemon. You've kind of got these budget environments and budget-looking sprites, unfortunately, but it's probably the closest we're ever going to get to a Pokemon game on PlayStation, I guess, in general. So if you're after a Pokemon style game, then this one could be for you. It's coming out next year on PS5. No mention of PS4, just PlayStation 5, which is interesting. I guess they're hoping it's going to sell more units on there. But yeah, you can see here from even the screenshot, you've got your evolutions of Pokemon, or Temtem from 1, 2, and then 3 in the background. I guess these are your 3 starters. I personally haven't played the game. I'm just familiar with the basic structure and premise of the entire experience. So that's Temtem coming to PlayStation 5. I was really surprised actually to see this one because A, I didn't realize it was finished. I thought it was still in early access on Steam, and B, it does come pretty close to Pokemon, and I was shocked that they actually were allowed to make this and publish it and release it, you know, while promoting it kind of as such. They don't actually mention Pokemon, but it looks so much like Pokemon. I guess they're probably getting as close as they can to copying the game without infringing on IP. Also during the State of Play, we saw a trailer. This was such a weird trailer. It was like a few seconds, if that, of Alan Wake DLC in Control. There's expansion 2 for Control called Awake. You can see here in the logo Alan Wake at the top and the Control imagery at the bottom. No details on what this actually means, how it works, how this plays into the world or anything like that, except that it does. And I'm curious about it. I was really curious about this game, about this DLC specifically when it got revealed last year, when they announced the season pass for the game. I was hoping that you'd maybe be able to play as Alan Wake and it would take on more of an Alan Wake tone, so it doesn't appear that that's going to be happening based on this trailer, but I guess we'll know more information when this launches. Did we get a date for this? You can play Awake on the 27th of August. So I might actually start playing a bit of the Control. I played a little bit of the game when it first launched, but I never finished it, so I need to go back and play through it and play through the DLC so I'm ready for this when it comes out. I would probably like to play this. I'm a pretty big Alan Wake fan, so seeing this announced got me kind of excited, but I don't know what this is actually going to involve. The article here is like just as vague. They don't want to give you too much information, and I get that. It's a narrative-based DLC. They want you to wait and play it and enjoy it. The final reveal from State of Play that I'm going to talk about, there was other stuff as well, mind you. They were just smaller things. Bugsnax is coming this year, and it's coming to PlayStation 4 as well. So it's not just PS5, it's PS5 and PS4. And it's launching Holiday 2020. I'm kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting it to be coming out this year. They showed gameplay of the game, not just a song. And I know everyone remembers the song because I freaking see a tweet and someone's quoting the song and it's in my head for like 3 days after that, so Bugsnax. Anyway, this is some gameplay here. You can see like doing a mission. It appears to be like a first-person game. I'm guessing it's like a first-person puzzle solving style game. It reminded me a little bit of what's the Rick and Morty game that came out last year? Trover Saves the Universe, in terms of like style and how it looks. It looks like they're doing obviously a comedic storytelling tone to it as well. But yeah, like the trailer just shows your character essentially just doing a bunch of tasks for people, saying, hey, I need you to do this and this. I got some vibes of like definitely the Trover game. If you guys remember Viva Pinata, it kind of reminded me a little bit of that as well. I guess with the different types of animals and things. And then, I don't know, I guess the quest-giving type stuff kind of gave me some vibes of like Banjo-Kazooie. It's not a Banjo-Kazooie like platformy game, but it just gave me that feeling, I suppose, the way that they're like, hey, I need you to go and corral these radishes or whatever. And that's Bugsnax. Honestly, like, I know it's a bit of a joke, but the game will probably be quite fun, and I imagine a lot of people will be playing it as well.